So Texas plans to redraw its congressional maps in an effort to secure 5 more GOP seats in the House in midterms. This was spearheaded by Trump because obviously he wants Republicans to retain control of the House post-midterms. Because as you can imagine, Trump and the GOP aren't very popular right now among the general public. Tariffs, the Epstein files, the big beautiful bill that's going to kick tens of millions of people off their Medicaid. Now, the midterms are over a fucking year away, so I can't conclusively say that there's going to be a blue wave. But with all of what has gone down in just the first 7 months of Trump's second term, I don't think it's shaping up to be a particularly good night for Republicans. And Trump and the GOP see the writing on the wall, and so they are going to try every dirty trick in the book to ensure that the GOP retains a majority in the House. Several blue states, like Illinois and my state, New York, have threatened to redistrict in response. But so far, the only state that's really taking action is California, easily the biggest threat to Texas's redistricting effort. California is the most populated state in this country, and if its congressional map passes in November, that alone would effectively null the gerrymandering in Texas. Yes, it is nice to see at least some prominent Democrats finally grow a fucking spine and stand up to the Republican Party. It's also really annoying to see Gavin fucking Newsom be the one heralded by so many libs and even some people on the left, I've noticed, as the leader of the resistance. You see, Gavin Newsom has been writing tweets, or I should say his PR team is writing tweets, in a similar vein to Trump's posts. All caps, unhinged rambling, and they've also been posting these AI slop memes as zingers against Republicans. And I just find it all to be so incredibly fucking lame. I mean, some of the responses from Republicans have been funny. Like Fox News was whining and saying, "This is so undignified for a governor of a major state like California." Meanwhile, the goddamn President of the United States of America has been acting exactly like this for the past decade. But anyway, a lot of Democrats are so desperate for any type of meaningful pushback from their party that they'll look at this shit from Gavin Newsom's Twitter and go, "Oh my god, thank you, Gavin," and completely ignore that the guy is a fucking snake who only cares about achieving his political ambitions and nothing more. Just a few months ago, he was hosting this stupid podcast where he was having guests on like Charlie Kirk, and he was basically jerking them off the entire time he was talking to them, and going like, "You know what, the Democrats have gone too far left. We should stop focusing on LGBTQ plus issues and opening our borders," when no prominent Democrat has ever campaigned on completely opening up our borders. And we just had Kamala's presidential campaign that actively sought to not bring up LGBTQ plus issues and essentially be Republican light on many other issues, like the border. And not that I'm painting any of that as a good thing, it just shows that they're willing to sell out marginalized groups of people for the sake of votes, and look at how well that turned out. Newsom was writing on the Democrats have gone too woke wave for a time when he thought that kowtowing to the fascists was the most politically expedient move. What, did you think he had a come to Jesus moment and realized, oh, there actually is no appeasing these people, and they're actively destroying the country, time to finally take them seriously? No, his ambition after being California's governor is likely being president, and to his credit, he's able to read the room better than a lot of his party, and realizes that most Democratic voters don't want knee-bending to Republicans, like what we've been seeing from feckless pieces of shit, like Schumer and Jeffries. And he knows that if he is the one at the forefront playing dirty with MAGA, and he's the one who finally bucks the trend of being nice and civilized towards your opposition that plagues the Democratic Party, that gets him closer to achieving his goal of being the Democratic nominee for president in 2028. Underneath all of the bravado, he is still the same center-right trash that rots the party. Look at his horrific treatment of the homeless in California, and him shutting down bills that would help improve the homelessness issue in California, or him vetoing bills backed by labor unions that would impose safer working conditions in higher risk jobs, and vetoing other anti-worker bills like one ensuring that striking workers would receive unemployment. This man is not the future of the Democratic Party. He is simply introducing a playbook where you can be the same establishment hack, except you're allowed to say some mean things to the Republicans. I think the enemy of my enemy is my friend mentality is stupid. If the enemy of my enemy is still a shitbag, I don't have to hand it to them. And you might be thinking, this is is just stupid purity testing that we have no time for in this political climate. Here's the thing, I'm not entirely opposed to Newsom's strategy. If he inspires more Democrats across the country, especially those with more progressive and populist left positions, to finally take the muzzle off and stop playing nice with Republicans and maybe one of those people could be the next rising star within the party, then that would be great. I'm just saying, don't place all of your bets on Gavin Newsom and think of him as this last beacon of hope within the party, because the dude is a disingenuous hack at the end of the day, who does not give a single fuck about the best interests of the public, and will probably lose to a Republican who appears more authentic, quote-unquote, in 2028, just like what we saw in 2024 with Kamala versus Trump. Or maybe he does win in 2028. He barely ekes out a victory because maybe shit hits the fan so hard within these next 3 years, and voters will be like, give us anything else besides what we just had, and Newsom will happen to be the anything else candidate, just like Biden was in 2020, and then we'll have 4 years of Newsom disappointing the public getting sick of him, and then completely forgetting just how bad things were under Republican control, and then voting in a Republican next election, and we'll be stuck in the same depressing loop. You need to be more than just being mean to MAGA. Mamdani is a shining example of this. Newsom is an asshole not because he genuinely cares about the American public. He is merely following whichever way the wind blows to achieve his political aspirations, and that is his only concern. That's all I have to say. Bye-bye.